amazing education. I was a housewife. I was raising 4 kids at home. I had the most blessed situation, but at the same time surrounded by these business situations that I didn't even realize were happening right in front of me, but I must have been absorbing it because there's so many times I've like brought up in my mind one of those conversations that I had learned from. And so I think I had a very lucky and blessed existence that way.
Welcome to the world of decentralized finance.
You can see the massive gains for the OG crypto coin.
Breakout we have all perhaps long awaited, finally realized. We'll see if it sticks.
Bloomberg's covering all things crypto, the people.
There's no question this industry is composed of some bad actors and some good actors.
The transactions.
Volumes have surpassed $24 billion per day.
And the technology.
Stop talking about the technology, start demonstrating the utility.
Bloomberg Crypto, Tuesdays.
The day really picks up a little bit later this morning. Chairman Powell, Volume 1 onto Volume 2. Onto tomorrow. Equity futures going into it. The scores look like this. Equities up 0.4% on the S&P, up 0.7% on the Nasdaq. That is a bounce back after 2 days of losses on the S&P. The biggest one-day slide going back to the middle of last month on the S&P 500. On the Nasdaq, the biggest one-day drop since the end of January. Tesla hitting discretionary. Apple hitting tech. China coming out with a growth target that hardly anyone believed in. In the bond market, yields were already a little bit lower. Lower again after we got the ISM. And I think the ISM is the real news yesterday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time. The ISM did not confirm the January boom. Yields lower across the curve, Lisa. 456.40 this morning on a 2-year.
And yes, it was the headline disappointing, but more than that.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to our Inner Circle Live pre-New York session. I'm your host, Ryan Carthage. We'll be joined shortly by my awesome partner, Mr. Benny Allen. Hope everybody is doing well today, this awesome Wednesday. As always, let's turn off all distractions, grab a pen and paper, let's take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage, all right? And as always, we want to make sure that we're taking massive action toward our goals. So we want to make sure that we are accepting all possible losses before entering a trade, preparing you for any outcome. Centering yourself, body, mind, and spirit, ensuring a balanced approach to trading, trusting your education strategy, trading skills, and intuition. Imagine your trade successfully materializing, obeying your trading strategy, avoiding decisions based on greed or fear, and never looking back or stopping once the trade has commenced. All right. So if everybody can hear me okay, drop me a 1 in the chat and we will get rocking. Appreciate it, Ms. K. 1 dose, and good to see you, my man. Juan David, appreciate it. All right. So let's hop over to trading economics, where we will see what's happening there. And then we'll dive into the calendar and then take a look at some charts. All right, so refresh. Germany exports rise more than expected. Exports to Germany jumped 6.3% in January, rebounding from a 4.5% drop in December and beating forecasts of 1.5% increase. Sales rose to the EU and China, while shipments to the U.S. declined. Meanwhile, imports were up 3.6%, following a 6.7% fall in December. And the trade surplus widened to a record high of $27.5 billion. All right, so exports on the rise out of Germany, the largest player in the Eurozone. And you had Eurozone retail sales edged up. It rose by a mere 0.1% month over month in January, following a revised 0.6% contraction in December, and in line with market expectations. So that's the retail sales data there, in line with expectations. Then we had last night, Australia GDP growth Australian economy expanded by 0.2% quarter over quarter in Q4 of 2023, easing from an upwardly revised figure in Q3 and market estimates of 0.3%. This was the ninth straight period of quarterly growth, but the softest pace in 5 quarters, as household spending was subdued, reflecting efforts to maintain. Okay. My bad. I thought I did new share. All right. Appreciate it. There you go. Reflecting efforts to maintain spending just on essential items like electricity, rent, food, and health. Meanwhile, government expenditure notably slowed amid a fall in defense spending and continued government benefits for households. Fixed investments fell after growing in the prior 3 quarters, with public investment dipping for the first time since Q3 of 2022, while a fall in private one was due to dwelling and machinery and equipment. Net trade contributed positively as exports of goods and services fell, while imports plunged 3.4%. Okay, so things are still on the slowdown out of Australia from a spending perspective, or from a GDP perspective. Sorry. So that's it from there. We'll hop over to the calendar and we'll look at the data from the calendar, PMI numbers and such. So yesterday, ISM Services PMI came in below expectation, right? So the services purchase manager index slowed. Okay. So this kind of raised some bets or increased bets that Fed will potentially have a different conversation, right? So you saw the dollar tail off a bit. So there were the conversation of rate cuts increased, right? Yeah, factory orders month over month also below expectation. There's that GDP quarter over quarter for the Aussie. This morning, there's your German trade balance. There's your PMI number for the pound came in just a bit above expectation. There's your retail sales number that we also discussed. So today we have ADP non-farm employment change, precursor to the Friday numbers. We have annual budget release for the UK. Then we have Bank of Canada rate statement at 9:45. Then we have IVPMI for Canada, and then testimony by Jerome Powell and Jolt's job openings. Then you have the Bank of Canada press conference at 10:30. So busy morning, right? Will give us the volatility that we would like to see, and potentially move some pairs in our favor, and give us some additional opportunities. All right, give me 1 second, everybody. 1 second. My apologies. So busy morning, right? Busy morning. We also have some FOMC members coming to the microphone today. Average cash earnings for the yen, Australia trade balance, China trade balance, 30-year bond auction for the yen. All right, so that's where we are. One extra note, yesterday or late last night, one of the larger institutions in Japan basically stated that they were preparing for rate cuts. Rate increases in Japan for this month. And they stated that they're expecting 2 rate increases this year for the Bank of Japan, which would get them to a 0.25% interest rate. And that kind of gave the market a little move on those yens to the downside. So we'll take a look at those after we take a look at the Canadian dollar pairs. So there was a bit of a movement there, but everything from Japan is kind of building up and hinting at this rate change definitely coming sometime soon. So that's just another tidbit there. Benny, good morning, bro.
Ryan, good morning, sir. Good morning, everybody. How are you, Ryan?
I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Doing pretty good, man. Always glad to be here. Busy
Yes,
day, like you
sir.
said, man.
It definitely is. Anything top of mind for you from a fundamental perspective?
No, nothing outside of what you covered. The key thing to know is that there's a lot of data, right, expected today, and
Yeah.
especially anytime you have Jerome Powell speaking, that could lead to some volatility in the market. So, just you've done a great job letting everybody know what's coming for the day. That's the most important thing, so you don't make any rash decisions. Just
Yep.
just be patient. Be patient.
Just that's it. That's it. Patience pays. Patience pays. Um, cool deal. Appreciate you, bro. On the Bank of Canada rate statement piece, they're expected to hold rates. We'll see. Piece is the press conference afterward. The press conference afterward, and the tone that's given. Is it more of a hawkish or dovish tone, right? Are they looking at inflation still being sticky, still causing concerns, or are they looking at the opportunity to cut rates? Or then, right, there's still the option that they do surprise everybody and start to cut rates. But I don't believe that that's something that's on the table at the moment. All right. So, team, do you guys have anything that you guys saw fundamentally, or any questions from a fundamental perspective? Nope. All right. Cool deal. So let's hop over to these charts. We'll take a look at the movement on the dollar, then we'll dive into some of those Canadian dollar pairs prep for that rate statement coming in. So you see we pushed to the bottom of the range, right? We're pressing sideways here for quite a bit. On the dollar, and we press down to the bottom of that range, right? So now we'll see what happens. Let's see if we push back to the top of the range, we press sideways, or we break down and move below. All right. So that's where we are on the DXY. Hold on one second, everybody. All right, apologize for that. So that's where we're on the DXY. So we'll see what happens. Jerome Powell testimony. We'll see what he has to say, what the questions are, and how he chooses to respond to those questions. These these testimonies are always interesting because they try to bait him in different ways and try to get him to say certain things, and generally does a pretty good job of really staying even and standing firm on kind of what's already been said. So it'll be interesting to see how things go down during the testimony. So we'll keep our eyes peeled there. Let's take a look at the dollar CAD, see where that one is. We'll come back to that dollar yen as well. But you see here on, whoops, that's a 30-minute. Let's come back to the daily. Dollar CAD, we've slowly been inching up, right? This is our capital fib here. We're inching closer to that A boundary. I have a sub fib. That's from a lower time frame. We're inching closer to that A boundary, right? And daily resistance at 136.254. So we'll watch to see what reactions we get from the dollar CAD and see how price bounces around between the rate statement and Jerome Powell's testimony. So we'll see if the A gets taken out. If it does, then we flip the fib and run it in the opposite direction. And there we go, right? See the sub fib here, we got a 50% retracement. So if we're able to break this daily resistance level, right? If the conversation from the Bank of Canada is more dovish, you can see this thing continue pushing to the upside, right? If Jerome Powell comes in hawkish, right, that'll add to the move long. And then the opposite is true as well. We could see it continue turn over and move back down to the downside. So that was pressing long there. We'll come down to the 4. There's the AB boundary on that 80-20, move back to the upside. So now we're pressing sideways ahead of the rate statement. All right. So down on the 1, we'll run the fib off the low. Let's see where we are. And there we go. All right. So on the 1, we got a 618 retracement, price pushing to the upside. So we got to break that daily level to get to the matching D extension. So that's where we stand, right? Watching and waiting, see how things transpire. Right. We know on the higher time frame, we got a deep retracement on the down AB boundary. Right. We'll run our trend lines to the upside, and we'll sit, watch, and wait and see what happens. See if we get a push to the upside or a breakdown. Okay. Questions on the dollar CAD?
No, sir.
Nope. All right. Cool deal. Boom. All right. Let's look at the NZD CAD. We'll come back to this NZD dollar as well. There's a setup on the NZD CAD. Just missed that 118 level, and we're pushing back to the upside. That's on the 1 hour. So as we come back to the daily and look at things, right? Pull that out. This is where we, let me just double check this fib to the downside. There's our capital AB boundary there. Okay. Capital AB boundary, larger move, right? Potential some head and shoulder type action here. So we'll see what happens if the New Zealand dollar picks up some strength and pushes us to the upside. If the Bank of Canada comes in dovish, right? So we'll have to watch and see how price transpires here. Okay, so this is an interesting range that we're in right now. As we come down to the 4, look more at current price. There we are on that last push to the downside. I believe these fibs get choppy. Oh, no. There's our capital fib there. There's our capital fib on the NZD CAD, and then we got smaller waves within. Okay. So deep retracement, tried to break down, came right back to that range, and we're trying to break out again. Okay. So bunch of sideways action here, top of the range, bottom of the range, back to the top, trying to make its way back to the bottom. So we'll watch and see how things develop. Just to the upside like that. So we'll watch and see how things develop as price continues to range sideways here. All right, so that's on the 4, coming down to the 1. Some smaller action here. All right, we had this reversal there, push to the upside. Price changed direction, took out our A. Whoops. And get to it. Here we go. Boom. So there's a larger fib, right? Push down, 8-6 retracement, trying to turn over here. So we'll see if we do push to the upside or if we take out that A. Okay. And then just to get some confluence from top down, sub fib, we got B boundary range happening there. So we'll see what happens after the rate statement, see where it pushes price to see if we do get it pushed back to the upside, or if we take out that A. All right. So this one's a bit back and forth in a bit of a range. So we'll watch and see how things move from there. Questions on the NZD CAD?
Nope.
All right. Cool deal. Let's take a look at that NZD dollar real quick. Trying to move out of the zone. Okay. 80-20 that we've been watching and waiting on. It's trickled down, still inside that AB boundary, hasn't gotten to the D extension, right? So we're looking to see if we can get a push back to that 382 level. Okay. Trying to get a push back to that 382 level. So back to the upside. So now we'll watch and see if we get price to continue moving along there. Okay. Let's go back to the 4. Yep. A little different vantage point there, but still the same. Still the same action. Okay. That's where we are on that setup. Just wanted to update on that one as it's taking its time moving out of that zone. Okay. Questions on the New Zealand dollar? Nope. All right.
Nope.
Cool deal. While we're on this side, we'll look at that, go back to that dollar again real quick. We had an 80-20 scenario on the 4, right? Came down to the bottom of the range, right? Not able to break out just yet. We got a rejection. Did break the trend line there, so we'll see how price continues to move. But we did try to break out of that zone a bit. So we'll see if we're able to break the range and push to the downside, or do we push back long and move back either to the top of the range and start making our way to that 152 level. Okay. So that's the 80-20 update there. Coming down to the 1, it's just a B boundary move, right? We're still at a 236 retracement level there. Haven't gotten to the 382 there. So still got some work to do in one direction or the other. Okay. Questions on the dollar yen? Nope. All right, cool deal. Aussie CAD. Pushing back to the upside. Okay. We've been in this range for a little while here, right? And we're pushing back to the upside now. We get down, we'll look at that overall AB boundary, but pushing up. So we'll see how things transpire coming into that rate statement later on this morning. Coming down to the 4. Okay. Got 2 fibs running here. One a larger fib coming off the low, and then we got one coming off the high. So we got back and forth action here. So we'll see which one weighs out. With the data, right? More looking toward the downside, right? As price has been coming down. Okay. Price has been moving down. So we'll see where the rate statement takes us, right? But right now we're pushing back to the upside. So as we come down to the 1 where we had our C to D setup here, right? We're still inside the AB boundary. We're just pushing back to the 618 retracement level, right? So again, as long as we stay inside the AB boundary, we'll look for price to continue moving in our favor to the downside. Okay, so just bouncing back and forth right now, and then we'll see if we get the catalyst later on today. Okay, questions on the Aussie CAD? Oh, all right.
No.
Cool deal. CAD Swissy. Trying to make its way, right? Trying to make its way, caught in a range here between resistance and support, but respecting the trend line as it moves up. Okay, so we'll look for this one to continue moving long we did get a little bit of Swiss franc strength yesterday a little bit, right? Got a little push to the downside, and now we're turning back over and pushing back long. So here's an overall move on the 4 right there. All right, so still caught in that range here, this retracement. So we'll see if we can get price to turn back over and today be the catalyst to push it to the upside. Okay. And there's the look on the 1. All right, so not a ton changed from yesterday, but looking to see if we can get a catalyst to continue moving that to the top side. Okay. Questions on the CAD Swiss? You guys still sitting in this one as it takes its time? Joy, yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Jeremy, beautiful. All right, continue to be patient, allow it to do its thing. We're making our way. All right, we're making our way. CAD yen. Right, said yesterday we got a little bit of CAD strength. I mean, yen strength. So we pushed down a little bit further into this previous consolidation zone. Right, this is previous resistance. It held that support a bit, but it broke back down. So we'll take that out. Now we'll look to see what happens here. Right, we'll look to see if this zone holds and if we're able to push back topside to start to make our way higher. Okay, Bank of Japan still hasn't changed anything, right? Got a lot of talking, but nothing has changed just yet. And we got about 2 weeks before their rate statement. So a ton can happen during that time. Coming down to the 4. Didn't quite push into that 118, 127 zone. You see the turnover, and we're pushing lower here. We got to a 236 retracement, broke that level. That level is broken as well. All right. So now we wait to see what happens. Right. Do we get price to turn over and push long? Make its way back there. Okay. So we'll watch and see how that one goes. But pressing to the downside right now, ahead of the rate statement. Okay. So coming down to the 1, this is one that I got my eyes on. Benny talked about it also. I believe it was last week. Looking to see price push to the 618 retracement level, right? And initially we got to push to the upside, but then it turned back over and made its way back down. Boom. Right? So trying to turn over now. We'll see if we're able to get that catalyst or if there's going to be another push down before we move long. Okay? So, but we came right into that zone. Okay? Came right into the zone with that 618 level, and now we're trying to turn over. So we'll see if we get a nice trend line break and a nice bullish candle to the upside, and that'll give us a catalyst on the move long. Okay. So there we are on CAD yen C to D opportunity, and we'll see if we get some additional confirmation there after that rate statement. Okay, questions on the CAD yen?
No.
All right, cool deal. Euro CAD. Did anybody hold this trade? Anybody? We've been sitting and waiting, right? I've been watching this move, watching it take its time. We had consolidation. We broke down deeper, broke the daily support level. We turned back over finally after some long drawn out action, right? We haven't gotten to the 382 yet on the daily, right? But we're pushing long here. Okay. Pushing long here. Boom. Came into a level of daily resistance, which coincidentally here on the 4, 382. Right? Been taking its sweet time, but look where we are. TP1 achieved on the Euro CAD. Okay. TP1 achieved on the Euro CAD. Jeremy still holding. Beautiful. It works if you allow it. Right? It works if you allow it. So Just gotta wait for the catalyst and allow price to do its thing and manage your risk accordingly. Right? If your stop was placed outside that D extension, yeah, we pushed down in the drawdown a bit, but we got a reversal and price move. So now we'll see what happens if we continue pushing to TP2, right? Or do we get a pullback first? Joe and Jeremy both in. Beautiful. Great work. Great work. Drops and sevens for the team. Patience pays, good people. Benny says it all the time. All the time, right? You got to allow the trade to swing, right? You got to allow the market to do what it's going to do. So now, like I said, we'll look to see what happens. Maybe we push into this 118 and 127 zone on the sub fib and we get a retracement before we get a continuation. Okay. If that type of action occurs, that sets us up for a crown pattern. If we get that type of price action. Right? So, something to keep our eyes on to see how price moves. Okay. So that's on the 4. TP1 achieved. Here we are on the 1, right? We just wicked that 382 level there. We're trying to push to the D extension. Okay. Pulling back now, but we could see price turn over, push to that level. And again, that gives us that crown action potential, right? Once that D extension is achieved, we get a new AB boundary. Okay. So continue to be patient there. We'll look for retracement and then potentially continuation on that. Okay. We didn't get that move down into the zone, which is all right. Okay. Questions on the Euro CAD. Beautiful move. Beautiful move. Off the low. It's 283 pips. Right? Took a little bit, but 283 pips. Took a little less than a month. Okay, beautiful. No questions, cool deal. Pound CAD. This one I'm also watching. This one is in an interesting space. So monthly time frame pushing to weekly time frame pushing into these weekly resistance levels. All right, we got a nice resistance cluster here, multiple levels. We want to see where price goes, right? Are we able to break through these, continue moving to the upside, or do we pull back first, right? But price has been moving long nonetheless, right? So coming down to the daily time frame, we already got a 618 retracement, and we're trying to make our way long. Okay, trying to make our way long. So got some work to do to break above these levels. So that's what I'm looking to see is if we're able to break those, continue moving along, or do we get a pullback before we then continue that move to the upside? Okay. Coming down to the 4, we got 80-20 scenario. On the 4, we broke above that weekly level, right? So we could push to the D extension here on the 4-hour time frame. That's potential. Maybe get to that 173-400 level, which is a monthly level, before we see a reversal. So gonna watch and see. We need some additional confirmation here, right? After the rate statement, and we'll see if we get some action like this. Okay. So we'll watch that and see. Been a strong move to the upside. That pound has definitely been on the go, which kind of plays into our favor in a lot of scenarios. But looking to see if we get a retracement at some point. Okay. Similar deal on the 1. Okay. Boom. So got some confluence of an 80-20 on the 4-hour and the 1-hour, but we need some additional confirmation after this rate statement, trend line break, cloud break, something to let us know that we are shifting direction. Okay. And then we'll run this one off that level like that. There we go. All right, so there are trend lines. We'll watch, wait, and see. All right, we got to swing high on the one. Are we able to get a nice bearish trend line break? If we are, that could be a catalyst for us to make that move back down to the downside. Okay, so we'll watch that closely as we move through the rate statement. Questions on the pound CAD?
Nope.
All right, cool deal. Um, so all the Canadian dollars. What else I got happening here? Um, let's take a look at these yens real quick. Aussie yen. We talked about this one yesterday on this 1 hour time frame, right? Smaller wave. We were floating around at the 618 level. We pushed deeper, 8.6 retracement. Now we're turning over, right? It had a lot of back and forth action here, but now we're trying to push back to the upside. Okay. So we will see if we're able to get that to continue moving along, at least get to the matching D extension. But we know from a higher time frame perspective, we're working on a larger move here, right? So this just could be the pullback for a price to continue moving to the upside, finally breaking that 98,553 level and continue pushing along there. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for, is price to make its way here. Okay, so that's how all of this comes into play on the 4 hour time frame. We also got a 618 retracement, right? This is trying to shape up as a double bottom. Trying to shape up as a double bottom. Right, so we'll see if we get that to fill out and continue pushing to the upside there. Okay, form that nice level of support and then move along. All right, so that's what I'm looking for there. But on the 1 hour, it's your C to D move as the initiation, and then we'll see if we get the catalyst to continue. Okay. Questions on the Aussie yen?
No.
Cool deal. Give me 1 second, everybody, please. Dog is on the move. My bad, everybody. All right. So looking for that CDD move there on the Aussie yen. No questions there. Let's take a look at the CAD yen. Similar story here. Daily time frame, 618 retracement, pushing long. Nice pullback here, retesting resistance levels, right? You'll want to see if this level holds. I already looked at this one. My bad. We know what we're doing there. We know what we're doing there. My bad. Swiss yen. Here we go. That move to the downside pushed us to the bottom of the range. Right? So this is the range that we're sitting in, pushed to the bottom. See if we stay inside of this and turn over and make our way back to the top of the range. Right? Maybe even break out of that and some point make our way to 176. We'll see. But we're seeing if this support level holds here. Okay. So we come down to the 4, 786 retracement, trying to make our way to the matching D extension. Okay. You see that bounce back and forth there. All right. So now as we get down to the 1, we zoom out here. AB boundary, 8-6 retracement. And we're pressing sideways here, right? I ran the sub fib just to look to see what was happening there. See if we get another push down to the downside, but we may not. We might stay inside this capital AB boundary here and get our reversal and push long. So watching this one to stay inside that AB boundary and give us a bullish move, start making our way at least to the matching extension here at 172. But potentially even further if we get the fundamental catalyst or the Bank of Japan to come in and say, hey, slow down, right? We could see this turnover and move to the upside there, right? So I'm watching this one here from a C to D move perspective, stay inside the AB boundary, right? I'd like to see a trend line break happen. Would like to see a trend line break or a cloud break to the upside. All right. So that's where we are on the Swiss yen. Okay. Looking to see if we get a move long. Questions here. Oh, all right.
No.
Got quite a few C to D moves here. Jimmy had a question?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Euro yen. We'll go back to Euro Swissy also. But Euro yen just bouncing around, right? Daily time frame. We know we got 80-20 scenario here. We push back into that 118, 127 zone, and we're range bound. Broke back above this daily level, held as daily support, right? Now I want to see if we push a little bit deeper. Right? See if we're able to push a little bit deeper. Maybe we stall at 164, but maybe we're able to break that and continue moving long. Okay, so not looking at the reversal just yet on this euro yen. We do have their rate statement later this week, tomorrow, right? So we'll see what happens going into tomorrow to see if we get a catalyst in one direction or the other. Okay. But this one is just lingering. Just lingering. We got a fresh AB boundary there, right? I would love to see a push into that 118, 127 zone. We're holding right now, right? We'd love to see that push long, get into that zone, and then maybe time for a reversal out of there. Okay. So that's on the 4, then coming down to the 1. We're looking to get to the matching D extension here, right? Which is in line with that weekly resistance level and that 118, 127 zone on the 4. Okay, so looking for that to turn over, continue pushing along. So continue to be patient on these, right? Still looking for moves to the upside, at least in the short term. Okay. Questions on the euro yen?
No.
Cool. Euro Swiss making its way, right? Making its way. This was the setup here on the 1. Didn't get down to the 618 retracement level, right? But turned over and trying to make its way to the D extension. Okay. Been long on this one for quite a bit. All right. Been long on this one for quite a bit. So we come back to the 4. Do this. That was accurate. There we go. So, right, been long for a bit. We got a 382 push here, and then price turned over and made its way back to the upside. All right, so been long, working its way to 96,582. Okay, so we'll see coming into this. If we're able to push into this 118 and 127 zone and this daily resistance level. There we go. Daily resistance level before we get a reversal. All right, so see if we get another push to the upside here. And then give us reversal back down to the downside. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at there. Potential reversal opportunity. Obviously, that's going to depend on what happens tomorrow with the ECB. Okay, depends on what happens tomorrow with the ECB. All right, so as we come back to the 1 hour time frame, that would mean this 1 hour D extension gets hit and we get a fresh AB boundary. Okay. Questions on the Euro Swissy?
No.
Cool deal. Let's look at on this Euro NZD. I didn't get a chance to take a look at it this morning. We've been long, right? Been long, looking to see if we get a retracement and then a continuation, though. Been a strong, beautiful move to the upside, almost straight up, right? Coming back into weekly resistance. So coming down to the 4. This was the move. Well, this is the move on the 4, right? 786 retracement level. Beautiful move out. Would love to see a retracement and then a continuation. Okay. So that's what I'm looking for, and this one is a pullback. So as we get down to the 1 hour time frame, got fibs running off the low. Here's the 80-20 scenario. It's trying to turn over. We'll see if we actually get the full move, but shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone. We haven't gotten to the D extension yet. Double top here. And we're trying to make our way back down. Okay, so we'll see if we get that full move to the downside. But there's the 80-20. Then if we get a low price, it'd be opportunity to get back long on this one and continue making its way to the upside. And to that matching D extension on the 4 hour, which is here, right? Above that monthly level. 186. Okay, so there's the move. That's what we're looking at over the long term. We're like a low price first, and then we'll make our way to the D extensions, 993 pips to the upside if we get that retracement. But we've been in this one originally since around that support level, right? So if we make it there, that's 1126 pips, right? Long-term swing, but been a beautiful opportunity. And now we're just looking for it to continue, right? Pullbacks and continuations on this one. Questions on the Euro NZD? No?
No.
Okay. All right. Looked at the pound CAD, Euro Aussie. Looked at yesterday. Benny's looking at this continuation to the upside. We got a nice trend line break, outer trend line break on the 4, right? So we're pulling back a little bit now. So look for this one to continue to the upside as well. There's an overall fib there, making its way long. Okay, so we're pushing to the upside. Let's come down to the 1. Let's see. Yeah, we'd love to see it get a low price here, right? Get a low price and give us an opportunity to get in this one if you're not to the upside, right? So I'm waiting patiently. I'm not in this one long right now, but if we get this retracement back into the zone, I'll definitely be looking for buying opportunities once we get down to the 618 level. So waiting patiently on this pullback. Benny's been in this one for quite some time, right? And just allowing the waves to play out, right? Picking your spots to add to the trade, building your position as it goes, right? So if we get a pullback, for those that are in this one, be another opportunity, right, to build that position on its way to the upside. Okay. So that's where we are on the Euro Aussie. Any questions there? Nope.
Oh,
All right. Deal. Pound Aussie. We looked at this 80-20 yesterday morning, right? So we want to pull back. We got it. Gave us a second opportunity, and now it's breaking down. Right. So that one is on the go to the downside, and it's moving. I got busy yesterday and didn't get a chance to enter this trade. Hopefully some of you did, right? But it's on the move, right? Off that pullback. We're already up 60 pips, right? TP1 is 101 pips to the downside. Right? So we're moving down and looking for low prices to get back long. Low prices to get back long. Why? As we walk back, been moving to the upside, right? We are coming into a down trend line, right? That could give us some resistance, right? On the daily time frame, we haven't gotten to a 382 yet, but we're looking for a high price, potentially even coming back to 199,644, right? And then we'll see if we get a reversal out, all right? Stand long. Yep. I'm with you. So we come down to the 4, and look, this is why. 8-6 retracement, right? Matching the extension is here at 195,904. This pullback, right? Maybe we pushed a little bit deeper off that 80-20 on the 1, right? This pullback is just a low price, to get long. Boom. If we're able to break above that level, then next level 197, 473.
Ryan, that looked like a teacup with a double handle.
But hold on, let me see.
I don't even know if there's such thing as a double handle.
Listen, if you talking to some of the folks, you you can do anything. How we do this? How do I use this?
That's definitely a cup and handle.
Cup and handle. Yeah, I'm trying to draw it out, but I'm not able to use this freehand tool like it should be used. So we'll leave it out. We'll just do it like this. Imagine this just is rounded, right? There's your cup. There's your handle. Boom. There's your second handle that Joy was talking about. Right? So it is, right? Cup and handle. So there we go. Right? And we're looking for this just to continue moving along. Continue moving along. All right. After this pullback on the 1. Boom. Questions on the pound Aussie? Nope. All right. All right. All right. Pound yen. Similar to the other yens, right? We got a little bit of a pullback. Got a little bit of a pullback. Now we're starting to make our way back long, right? On this 1 hour time frame, we got a 382, and we're just pushing to the upside, right? We'll look for price to get to this range here, 192. What's that? 192, 522, right? Which is the top of, or the bottom of this 80-20 range on the weekly, right? We're looking for this range here. So another drive to the upside, and then see if we can get price to reverse out, right? Coming down to the daily time frame, we're already in that 118 to 127 zone, but love to see it push higher to get confirmation on the higher time frame as well of that reversal. And then once things shift with the Bank of Japan, we'll see this action. It'll take its time, but we'll see that action. Okay, so again, being patient on these yens, waiting for higher prices, and the fundamentals to be in full alignment, right? Remember, we got wage data coming out on the 15th, and then the rate statement is on the 19th. So got a little bit of time for all of the information to be gathered. All right, so that's the pound yen there. Pound dollar. I'll do this and then we'll look at the euro dollar and then we'll wrap it up there. So I'm really watching this one from a 1 hour time frame perspective, right? We got testimony from Chairman Powell. Been moving along beautifully, but overall just been moving sideways across the screen, right? So what I'm looking to see is, do we stay inside this AB boundary here on the one, right? 1,277. Maybe we retest that level, top of the range, and then come back down to the bottom of the range. So I'm watching this one closely here, potentially for a deep retracement move, 78686 level, and then looking for price to come back down, make it to those levels, and then we'll see what happens again, right? So that, but that would mean for the dollar to then start to gain some strength. So that one, obviously looking at the conversation with Chairman Powell, would have to be in favor of more of a bullish conversation. So that's what I'm looking at from a short-term perspective. And this is where we are on the daily, right? We just missed the 382 there, pushed back up to the upside, and we just been stuck here, right? So we need a fundamental catalyst in one direction or the other to break us out. So that's what I'm looking for, to see if the dollar is the fundamental catalyst, Chairman Powell, or something. Some of the data still to come out, maybe Friday with non-farm payroll, to give a move back down to the downside there. Okay, so those are my thoughts on the pound dollar. Nothing happening right now, just sitting and watching as it just bounces and bounces and bounces. So here on the 4, we do have a 786 retracement, right? Matching the extension would be here, right? Which would kind of confirm top of the range, but it would take out that A on the 1 hour, right? So that would be another scenario, is getting to that matching D extension first and then turning over and pushing down. Okay, so we'll see what happens there. That's more of a longer term scenario if we get the push to the upside, right? So that's just a look at the pound dollar. Any questions on this one? Nope. All right. And then euro dollar. Similar scenario, right? Been slowly trickling back to the upside. We're coming back to this 108,954 level. I want to see if we stay below that level. Okay. Do we stay below that level, turn over and push down, or do we push deeper and give us a higher right tip of this crown? Do we get action like that? Right? Either way, it's a crown, be it a shallow crown or a deep crown. Right? Either way, it's a crown pattern, one or the other. So just a matter of how deep this retracement goes. So that's what I'm looking for on the euro dollar coming down to the 4, right? And that's just pushing deeper in this AB boundary. Okay, just pushing deeper in the AB boundary. So watching the trek to the upside there. This 108 level is going to be key if we turn over now or later. So making our way back to the 1 hour. Boom, same story as the 4. Okay. So that's what I see there. Questions on the euro dollar? Nope. All right,
Oh.
cool deal. Questions on anything that we covered this morning?
Nope.
No. Benny, anything before we wrap it up, bro?
Yeah, just keep in mind, as always, be patient. If you go back and you look at the trade ideas section, a lot of these trades were drawn up 17 days ago, 20 days ago, you know, and they're playing out now. So we are swing traders. If you're here looking for quick, make money fast type of scenarios, this might not be the group for you, right? We are playing larger swing type setups. So again, if you go back and you scroll through and you look at the setup, some of them have, like I said, a 17-day history on them, 20-day history on them. And so that's what we do in this group. That's what we hang our hat on. So you have to be patient.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, good people. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with my awesome partner, Mr. Benny Allen. Taking a look to see what happened throughout the day today, what the fundamentals say, and where we're headed. So have a phenomenal Wednesday. We'll see you in the morning. Peace.